One of the big problems I see with a lot of the domestic manufacturers is the dealer organization, and I think Chrysler is maybe one of the weakest. Now, obviously it took Toyota a long time to go from service station of the car to the dealers you have now. How are you going to revamp the Chrysler dealership organization in line with your product?
Great question. How are we going to revamp the Chrysler dealer organization? Right now, it's basically we have 3 different brands, and in many cases we have 3 different franchises. We've got Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler, different franchises. What we're doing is we've introduced a project called Genesis, which will bring together all 3 of those brands under one roof. So instead of having 3 footprints, 3 overheads, 3 pieces of property, you can use 1 piece of property and sell all 3 brands from one. That's a much more efficient, you can eliminate the number of dealers, you get much more throughput, and you create a more profitable dealer organization. The key to a successful dealer body is the profit the dealers can make based on what the manufacturer's decisions are. And the reality again, trying to be a 4 million company, having a 4 million dealer body, but only selling 1.7 or 1.3 million retail, that's not going to work.
An interesting company, Jim, which has more electric vehicles than all your competition put together.
Yes.
Say between now and 2012, can you take advantage of the customer base? Is there any technology you can take out of it?
Yes, absolutely. Jim, it's a great question, and boy, I wish I had thought of that. We are the largest manufacturer of electric cars in the world. That's one of the reasons that we feel that we have some advantages for getting to production. The GEM organization is developing new concept products, and they have a great utilization, especially in planned communities and in areas where there's a lot of delivery vehicles or off-road vehicles. And we're using that technology we've brought into our organization now, and we're going to mainstream that GEM technology. And part of that's working with our Envy group to electrify regular cars, the way GEM cars are electrified.
I'm sure that's how.
The Viper. The question is, what's up with Viper? It's a good question, because when you're going through and trying to create a rationalized business model to go forward, and you're going to make maybe $2.5 or $3 billion on an Avenger Sebring product line in a D-segment sedan, and you're going to sell 300,000 of them. And here, on the other hand, you got handmade cars you make 100 a month. And if you apply the overhead burden of the company on 100 a month, it doesn't really work through the numbers. It's not a viable business. And for us, it's tough to have the kind of division of understanding of how you run a 100-a-month hand-built factory and what you do to engineer and develop an all-out racing car versus what you do to engineer and develop and how you build hundreds of thousands a month of vans. And so we've been approached by other third parties who actually would like to buy the Viper factory and brand and keep it Viper, but do it where their specialty is building low-volume, handmade, high-performance products, that we would work with them and keep Viper that way. It's the way we can keep Viper going forward, as opposed to now we do with Viper when we have to go through reg changes in terms of crash or safety or engine changes. It really doesn't fit with our overall plan. So it helps us kind of focus on building better vans, and it assures us a partner who will be able to keep that intact in terms of Viper and go forward with a real honest-to-goodness performance car.
So they can use your sales channel.
Yeah, they'll use our sales channel. I mean, we'll continue to sell the car. I mean, there are people right now, there are Mustangs that are being sold that are produced by Saleen. Those go through the Ford dealer organization. Saleen's a great company. They specialize in doing that. A company like that can be considered. Yes, sir.